I was blessed with knowing what I wanted to do as an adult very early on. It's actually one of my earliest memories. I can still recount it to this day. We were watching TV in the living room of my fraternal grandmother, and there was something, and they were broadcasting. What's the name in English? A Bridge Too Far.
Oh,
and it was
my favorite movie.
Yeah, it was broadcast in black and white, and there is one scene. I remember this vividly. I was sitting in front of the TV, and my parents and my grandparents were watching on the sofa, smoking, of course, because it was the 80s. And who cares what the little child thinks? And there is one scene where the paratroopers are in some kind of living room or building when they landed behind enemy lines. And they're discussing the plans and what they're going to do next. And there's one German soldier walking past the window outside. And you see him doing a double take, and he's coming back, and they just shoot him through the window. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And
really?
I was 4 or 5 years old at the time, and this is one of my earliest memories. And I knew when I grow up, I'm going to be a soldier, and it was the only job that I applied for when I was doing school. Wow. The only application that I sent out, and it worked.
Wow,
fair
really?
play to you, mate. Fair play.
Yeah. Oh, so, I mean, all the guys in my class were going, "Oh, I don't know, I'm going to be a doctor because my parents are doctors, etc., etc." And some people are going to start social studies or wanted to become journalists or something. But it's also going to be so hard, and it's going to be expensive. Blah blah. So, no, I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to join the army. It's settled. Yeah. And yeah, that's what I did in 2004. September the 1st, 2004, I think it was. Yeah, when I joined.
So for how long have you been in the army, or are you still in the army?
No, so that's a bit. I have to go on a bit of a tangent. So the general idea in Germany is when you join as an officer, which I did, you sign up for 12 years. Mm-hmm. But the contract is conditional on certain milestones during your training. The first 3 years of these 12 years are just training. It used to be, now it's different. But in my time, it was better. There were 3 years of training. Then there were 3 years of university, and then the additional 6 years of service again in the army for me. And in the beginning, your contract would be limited to 1 year. And in this 1 year, you would have to pass certain tests, examinations. And funnily enough, don't tell anyone, but I almost dropped out in the first year because I couldn't do the runs. I was a terrible runner. I hate running. Really, I hate running. And one of the runs we had to do was 3 kilometers in, I think, 13 and a half minutes tops, which isn't that fast if I think about it, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I hate running. Really, I do. Yeah. And so the end of the year was coming up, and of course, my instructors, they knew it, and they said, okay, listen, you're going to do a 3K every single day until you pass. And it was something like 4 weeks until deadline. And they told me, you're going to do a 3K every day until you pass. And I did, and I passed on the 4th or 5th day or something. And that was it. And then the contract was extended to 3 years. And then you had to pass the final exam to become a second lieutenant, which I passed. That was quite easy. And then the next extension is conditional on you passing your studies at university. And I started studying mechanical engineering. I wanted to become an engineer because every single one on my paternal side, my father, my uncle, my brother, they're all engineers. And so I wanted to become an engineer. It wasn't forced on me. But when I went to university, I did the same amount of studying that I did in school, which was nothing at all. I just went to the lectures and thought, yeah, it worked in school for me. So why wouldn't it work here? And it did not work, in fact, because studying at university is a whole different ballgame. Yeah. And so I dropped out after about, I think it was 1.5 or 2 years. And which in turn meant that my contract would end after a total of 6 years. So in 2010, I dropped out in 2008, late 2008, and then my contract would have ended in 2010. So I did 6 years regularly, was promoted to first lieutenant, and then I added 2 years as a reservist, or 1.5 years as a reservist, and then I dropped out and did something different. Yes, okay. Well, that's my story. Nice. Yeah, and I'm trying to regularly still serve as a reservist. I'm a captain right now, so I enjoy this very much. But right now I'm about here with work, so there's not much time to do it. But yeah, this is my story. So I joined the armored reconnaissance. I've talked about this in the videos.
Yeah.
Which, of course, this is a cavalry unit, and cavalry is known for their modesty. So it's a semi-elite unit, of course, armored reconnaissance, but they've become obsolete since the Cold War ended. And the basic idea was you get in your reconnaissance tank, you drive through the front line, get behind enemy lines about between 60 and 100 kilometers, and you recon command posts, supply routes, stuff like that. And you call in artillery or airstrikes on them, or you just report back where the enemy is, Redland, as we call them, where the Redlanders are hiding. And of course, if you get shot up 100 kilometers behind enemy lines, if your tank gets blown up and you have to walk back, that requires quite a bit of a certain amount of skill to do that. And we had to be quite fit, and I became quite fit during the army. I still don't enjoy running, but I became rather good at it. And we trained for these kinds of events. So the standard training that we would do is simulated recon mission, and then of course your tank gets shot up and you have to walk back with everything. And that was usually 3 or 4 days, 60 to 80 kilometers.
Wow.
Well, that's a cool job.
It is.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, looking back, you kind of only remember the cool stuff, but the suck that you had to go through every single day, you kind of push back into your head. But it were shitty times at times. That's the reality. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, and I also enjoyed, which I also did for a very long time, was training conscripts. Still back when we still had conscription, and I did that for combined 2 years on various levels, and training these conscripts from zero to you can kind of walk straight without injuring yourself. That was quite fulfilling. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's good. That's a colourful start to life, though, for sure.
Yeah,
it's pretty adventurous, and I can empathise with some of it because I was a reservist in the British Army. So running, I hated, same as you. I think we had to do like a mile and a half, which is similar distance. I think it was like 10.5 minutes we had, and it was awful. I used to hate doing it, but I could put weight on my back and walk all day, but ask me to run, and I'm the fat guy at the back.
Yeah, same. Exactly the same. We used to do a 30K, so 30-kilometer march every Friday during officers training, and with 10 kilo pack on the back. And the max time for the 30K is, I think, 300 minutes, which is 5 hours. And my personal best for the 30K is 3 hours and 25 minutes. Yeah, so walking with quick marching with pack, I can do all day. But running, I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Book your own battlefield tours on trailsofhistory.com.